Now we see the tail of the tape. No, both men making their professional debuts, coming off glittering, extensive amateur careers. 28, 27 respectively. Same height, same weight. But what the tail of the tape is not telling you is that Mark Gallivan is coming off a 10-3 amateur record, a multitude of titles, international IMAF experience. Callum Liston undefeated as an amateur at 4-0, but his entire amateur career inside that cage.
Callum Liston making his way in. He's just in the final prep point, and people would always talk about Fedor Emelianenko when he was fighting, that he didn't look bothered, he looked cool, calm and precise. Well, the calmness of Callum Liston coming into cages and in fights would make Fedor look like a maniac.
Let's be honest, the boogeyman checks underneath his bed at night for Callum Liston.
That is exactly right. But this is, if this was an amateur fight, people would be saying this is two of the best amateurs about to square down. For both of these men to take on each other on their professional debuts is insane.
Indeed, no, indeed.
3 5-minute rounds, knees to the head, elbows. It's all a part of the pro ranks, and we're underway. Callum Liston is in the orange, while Gallivan is in the green Team Rhino trunks. Interesting to see. Callum Liston, speaking with Gallivan, says, you know, he is a good all-round fighter, but he prefers to grapple.
Both men exchanging stiff jabs there.
Weirdly as well, talking to Gallivan, he's like, you know, I don't want to make a career out of this. That's not my ambition, but don't mistake that for lack of ambition or intent. He trains like a professional in Team Rhino.
It's a beautiful head kick from Callum Liston, and another one we remember in his last fight against Michael Quinn at the Ulster Hall.
Yeah.
Dropped him with a beautiful head kick.
Liston now living in the UK, but travels over to Team KF for his camp.
That's serious dedication to travel from England to Ireland for your camp. It also shows the depth of quality they have at Team KF.
Former Cage Warriors champion, of course, James Webb, part of that camp, and rushing forward was Gallivan and landed some clean shots, but the point was being you would travel to that camp. The absolute killers in there.
Callum Liston now on top. Gallivan trying to shift those hips, trying to find something. Elbows are legal from this position as we are in the pro ranks right now, ladies and gentlemen.
And now we'll talk about the calmness of Liston in the lead up to this, and this is where he remains calm. You will hear Chris Fields bellowing out instructions, and Liston is a great student. He listens to his coach. Almost like we said earlier with Ben Hughes, it's like Chris Fields is holding a controller now, and he is playing the character named Callum Liston.
You can see Gallivan thought momentarily about underhooking the leg of Callum Liston to try and create the angle. There it is for the armbar.
Definitely is. So Liston has got to be aware of that, and of course Gallivan trains with so many incredible jiu-jitsu specialists in Team Rhino that he will be comfortable in this position.
He's got a black belt like Andy Ryan, a black belt like Paul Redman. I believe Keith McCabe also a recent black belt, so really dangerous guys on the ground.
Yeah, not a bad list there, Phil. But Liston, at the moment, staying comfortable, staying controlled. And speaking with Callum, we're like, what's the biggest addition here, moving the pro ranks? And he's like, the conditioning for 5 rounds. And it may not seem much, an extra 2 minutes, but over 3 rounds, that gives you a 6-minute total.
Callum Liston just trying to roll the wrist there to create a little bit of space for his elbows.
But all the while here, you can see that Gallivan is looking for something. So every time Liston moves, Gallivan is predatory, looking for submissions, landing elbows from the bottom.
I like the way he's keeping a collar grip on the back of the head, or was keeping a collar grip on the back of Liston, and that was meaning he could pull the arm down or pull the head down into those elbows.
And Liston just looking to his corner for instruction. Just head position, stuffing his head across the jawline of Gallivan, but
Gallivan smartly using the cage there to back himself away from it, and you can see Liston angling him back into that position, trying to crush and impede the form of Mark Gallivan.
That will allow any shots from top field. There won't be any give in the shots being landed. You're going to take them full on the face.
Keeping a nice wide base is Callum Liston.
So again, both fighters in untested waters now. We're in the 4th minute of a bout. They'd normally be getting instructions from their corner at this point at amateur level.
Nice head position from Liston. It's such an irritant to drive your forehead in, underneath the chin, into the face of your opponent. Of course, legal because you're not headbutting.
Just turned the elbow over there, or just rolled the wrist over and landed an elbow, and trapping the arm is Mark Gallivan, but Liston aware of it, lands a nice right hand.
Those are huge strikes from Callum Liston.
Right in front of us here.
Dickie Larkin took a long, hard look at that, but
big on kick!
Big on kick, he dropped him!
Mark Gallivan has dropped him with an on kick!
Gallivan now smelling blood in the water, and what a shift!
Big change in momentum in the fight here. Gallivan with an up kick, rocks Liston and dropped him.
How quickly can Callum Liston recover? He was out on his feet there, Noah. We've seen the eyes roll back in the head.
The only saving grace there was that Gallivan was on his back, and it took time to get up to follow up with ground shots. But Callum Liston was in serious, serious trouble. And he still looks to be shaking off the cobwebs here. He looks a little foggy, Phil. Good shots on top by Gallivan, and this is why we love mixed martial arts. It looked like Liston was possibly chasing a finish, and a big up kick by Gallivan.
Complete swing of the pendulum, Noah.
Insane. But Liston has done well to survive after being dropped. Interesting to see what he looks like going back to his corner. He gets up. He looks like he's fine.
Walks back with an unerring
it's like he's
calm.
on a pint of milk and a paper, please, pal. But what an up kick. It looked like Gallivan was in trouble. Big shots and elbows. Great usage of that, I must say, by Gallivan while on the bottom. But Callum Liston, like he just flicked the switch and wanted to go for heavy ground and pound. But I think this is the up kick.
And just as he stepped away.
This is the big shots landed by Callum Liston. Heavy, heavy ground and pound. Big right hands. As he sets, just a huge uppercut, or up kick, excuse me. Here it comes.
Just as he's stepping off. Oh, that's huge. And you see dropping Callum Liston, eyes rolling back in the head, legs turning to jelly. But what recovery. That speaks to the conditioning of Callum Liston.
It almost kicked under the chin.
Yeah.
And rocked him, as Robin Black would say, bink. That was an incredible turnaround. How fresh are both fighters? Because Callum Liston had a big, big first round right up until that kick. He was composed in the guard, and he looks defending.
And now he looks exactly like he did at the start of the first round. He looks exactly like he did when he arrived at the Crown Plaza today.
But interestingly enough, his looks can be deceiving. He's been wobbly. He gets caught with a left hook there as well.
Big takedown from Gallivan.
Gallivan charges in, and he could be susceptible. As much as he may have cleared the head, Phil, I just think sometimes when you get your bell wrong, it's still ringing.
You can see what he's trying to do. He's trying to get down onto that right hip and sneak out the back.
Expect elbows here on top.
That's the difference maker when it comes to the pro fights, isn't it, Noel? It's being able to frame off and land those crashing elbows.
Just stepping across to trap that right arm of Callum Liston too.
He can't stay flat back in this position. We need to see him move onto a hip. There it is. Trying to create a little bit of space.
But elbows.
A quasi-crucifix position here from Gallivan
work
from the half guard.
And Gallivan has really taken that momentum of the first round and carried it into the second round here. Corner just calling for Callum Liston to try and get going again, but Gallivan doing excellent work on top and smothering the Team KF man.
Nice little pot shot elbows.
These are beautiful elbows and selective as well. Just trapping Liston, elbow, trap elbow. Beautiful work.
Sometimes the best instruction is the clearest instruction. You heard from the Team Rhino corner. Just beat him up now, Mark.
Yeah. All head position, and it's all tactical by Gallivan. None of this just is coincidence. He's deliberately stuffing his hand over the mouth to restrict the breathing of Callum Liston. He's deliberately driving his head into the chin, making life uncomfortable and horrible for Callum Liston. Is Mark Gallivan on top.
Potentially the beginning of a head-arm triangle if Gallivan can create a little bit of space for himself. You can see he pinned his ear there to the arm of Callum Liston. Let it go. Liston has that underhook, may use that to try and sneak out. He's on the right hip to try and get out.
Just missed with that elbow. That was a sharp elbow. But Liston uses it to get back to his feet. Good work, Callum Liston, but going for it.
Shuts down the judo trip, does Callum Liston. Again, knees to the head are legal in this pro fight.
And Liston still looks fresh though. His eyes looked not to be glazed over.
And this is where the positioning of the head becomes so much more important, Noel. Because in amateur you're protected, you can't be knee to the head, but you need to be so much more aware of it in the pros.
Great point, Phil. And there is
that's
a beautiful knee by Liston,
chops.
and beautiful roll, trip and exchange. And
Callum Liston had a big right hand loaded in the holster there just as he turned round.
And a grimace from Mark Gallivan. I don't know if he injured himself as he fell, but there was a big grimace on the face of Gallivan. Taking deep breaths.
It's potentially the rib, I think, or something like that. No, that seems to be what's impeding the breathing, is potentially a rib injury.
I didn't see it. I just seen the grimace on his face. But Callum Liston here will want to get some back, if you like, here and land some shots on top.
Need to be wary of the submission game of Mark Gallivan. Has 7 wins by submission. I believe 5 of them are by triangle. Incredibly dangerous grappler within the realms of mixed martial arts.
And Gallivan being active off his back, just throwing pop shots, and in some ways might be showing the referees, and he's not doing much here. Got to be careful. There it is, that triangle.
Switches to the armbar, doesn't have
scramble, and Gallivan ends up on top in the scramble. Excellent work, and that was the thread of that submission that created that space, Phil. And right in front of us here, he'll look to do what he done earlier, and he gets him in the crucifix position.
Potential for the head arm triangle should he use it. Looked like he was trying to set up the Kimura there as well.
Expect elbows, beautiful, just frames with the hand and turns the elbow over.
Potential here for the Kimura, he's trying to set it up.
Liston is aware of it and tries to stop it. Good position, it's a good setup here, Phil. Plenty of time as well.
Liston doing everything he can to keep it nice and compact, showing the strength, just grabbing his own arm, bringing it back in towards his body.
Good defense, Callum Liston, but Gallivan's shown he is dangerous from every aspect, no matter where we are in this fight.
Such an intriguing matchup, no.
Beautiful elbows and the swing of momentum we spoke about in round 1, and Gallivan has just used that momentum, and the threat of the submission allowed him to reverse to where we are now, and potting shots down on top of Callum Liston here. Mark Gallivan just after the bell, that shot. A very quick minute just by talking through it. So how fresh is Callum Liston? The referee, I do believe just that left eye is showing big signs of swelling. He's saying he's all right. Dick Larkin just asking for the Vaseline to be rubbed off a little
more leniency shown with regards to cuts when you talk about pro fights.
Your third and final round of your professional debut, gentlemen, and what a fight it's been thus far. And as I said at the top of it, Phil, credit to both men taking this fight on their MMA pro debuts.
Relative inactivity from Callum Liston. His last fight was June of 2018, quite simply because nobody wanted to face the boogeyman. Gallivan, of course, had to go internationally to find opponents, had to go to IMAF competition, because domestically it was just becoming more and more difficult for him to get fights.
You feel here that Callum Liston potentially needs something big in this third round. You could almost argue what way you score round 1, but Gallivan is going to end up in half guard position here, and it just seems at the moment that he's ending up on top in all the scrambles. And somewhat, is he breaking the will of Callum Liston?
I think that man has an unbreakable will. The body will give up long before the mind of Callum Liston ever gives up. But you can see he's doing all the right things. He's getting onto the right hip. He's trying to shrimp out. He's digging in for underhooks. Callum Liston is by no means a beaten man yet.
Mark Gallivan, as you said, taking on the boogeyman. There wouldn't have been too many with positive records. Never mind. Oh
yeah,
no,
for sure.
That wouldn't take this fight. So credit to Gallivan. He's taken. This is, if he does go on to win, plenty of time left for things to change here, of course. But if he was to go on, this is a great scalp.
I think regardless of result tonight, both these men are going to have fantastic professional careers. You can see Gallivan just continuing to wear on Liston. Perhaps trying to wear him out and find that opportunity to land a big strike, just to create little pockets of space through perhaps the frustration of Callum Liston, trying to get him to move in a particular direction, create a little pocket of space and land strikes.
You can see Liston, he is trying to improve his position, and he's trying to get us back to the cage to get back up there, but ever so slightly. Each time he does it, Gallivan will just pull away an arm or pull away a wrist and just stop him from progressing, and Mickey Larkin is going to stand them up, so that's a good one for Callum Liston, you feel here. A look to the corner, Mark Gallivan. Callum Liston, you feel he's got to let the hands go. He evades that takedown really well.
Needs to be wary of the inverted triangle here, the reverse triangle, and that's what Gallivan seems to be linking up. What he needs to do, the arm of Callum Liston is what's keeping him safe right now. If that arm were to be pulled across his body, as opposed to being a frame for him right now, he would be in serious danger, no. It's also a great opportunity for Callum to land strikes to the body.
And here's the scramble, and it's been Gallivan who's been winning these scrambles recently. So Liston landing big elbows to the body of Mark Gallivan, and
he still has a full 2 minutes to make something happen, to land damage, to land ground and pound.
And that first round, Phil, the up kick was the swing of momentum, but wasn't enough to swing the round in the favour of Mark Gallivan. Potentially it could be one apiece here. And now potentially it's Liston who could be tying up a triangle there. The arm's not in though, so it is triangle.
Trying to lock it up. Can't quite see if he has it. Need to see the arm position of Mark Gallivan.
Really difficult to finish that from here, but
it's locked up more on the foot as opposed to the shin, not making it as tight.
Mickey Larkin just asking Mark Gallivan, is he all right there, having a close look, but
an opportunity for Callum to readjust a little bit, dig that a little bit deeper.
I asked you, was he potentially breaking the will? What a stupid question by me. Callum Liston, as game as can be, and is chasing to pull this one out. And now it's Gallivan who's looking to step across Liston.
Limbs everywhere. These boys look like a pretzel. And look at the grimace on the face of Gallivan.
Just lost the grip there though, Phil. And it's going to be Gallivan in side control with 30 seconds on the clock. Callum Liston.
What a tightly contested fight. Sorry, no.
Just saying, Callum Liston is looking to get up, but I agree, Phil. This is a very evenly matched and close fight to score. Aesthetically, though, Gallivan on top.
10 seconds to go. What can Callum Liston do? Can he get to his feet?
Looking to...
Gallivan perhaps looking for a dorsal transition to a Peruvian necktie.
Time runs away from us, but what this is it, as we've been watching the amateurs all night, but you're watching two gentlemen make the pro ranks, and there's just a different input, isn't it? You can see that gap, that little step between the amateurs and pros and the skill sets, and how both fighters are so dangerous. What a competition, and what two great fighters here. As you said, Phil, both surely will have great professional careers.
And I'm going to go out on a limb and say it might be a while before we see these guys in the cage again, by virtue of the fact nobody will be putting their hand up after that to fight either man. Both men can be very, very proud of their performance. It'll be interesting to see what way the judges have scored this fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to your judges' scorecards. Your judges scored this bout 30-27, 29-28, and 29-28. All for your winner by unanimous decision, Mark Gallivan! Please hold your applause for Callum Liston.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with your winner, Mark Gallivan. Firstly, Mark, congratulations on a fantastic performance. Did the fight unfold the way you wanted it to?
I was very confident I was going to get the win. I probably made it a little bit more difficult on myself than I should have. Gallivan is a tough opponent. My striking was a bit sloppy. I think getting introduced to the 4 rounds close probably took its toll on me. But I had a great fight, and again, hats off to Callum and his team.
The pivotal moment of that fight, the moment that seemed to change the momentum was the upkick. Did you feel that at the time?
100%. I could see he was rocked. It was a clean shot to the jaw, so he went down. Like I said, I made it harder on myself. It was a real grinding fight. 3rd round is probably not the most entertaining for the fans. But again, a win is a win, and happy with it.
10-3 as an amateur, now 1-0 as a pro. What's next for Mark Gallivan?
Give me the next opponent. That's it.
Easy as that. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for your winner, Mark Gallivan!